Hello, everybody. This is Frank with Iron Age News on the South Florida Conservative News Service. It is Saturday, May the 31st, and we're going to do this very quickly. Once again, we are debunking disinformation that is being shown on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else because the people that are working under the guise of liberalism slash socialism are too damn stupid to look up anything, and they just take it at face value that whatever it's being done is being done and Trump is evil and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to see a couple of these now if you're watching either the Spanish or the English ones, and they're all talking about a form I220A as an atom. It's an order of ROR, release on recognizance. Okay. So they're all saying, well, I had this and I went to the hearing and they dismissed the thing. And then the ICE agents grabbed me and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I'm just going to give you the points. That's all you need. There's no story. The I220A is a release document issued by ICE that allows a non-citizen to be released from custody without bond based on their promise to comply with immigration proceedings. That means you're here illegally, you were caught, you were given this document instead of having to bond out, which you couldn't, or being sent back to Mexico where you should have been sent to wait out your time before your hearing, and that you would comply with immigration proceedings. It does not grant you any legal status. Being released under the I-220 or the 1220A does not confer legal immigration status, asylum, residency, or work authorization. It never has, it never will. Number three, the individual remains in removal, meaning that you're in deportation proceedings and is under a legal obligation to appear in immigration court and comply with ICE check-ins. That also means don't get arrested for shit. Okay? Unlike immigration parole, which is the I-94, or a release bond, I-220A does not provide eligibility for certain protections or work authorization benefits unless separately granted. You're not supposed to be working, right? You're not supposed to be taking American jobs. You're supposed to be waiting to go to court to decide what's going to go on with you. And part of the conditional release is the person must appear at all immigration court hearings. They have to report to ICE as required, and they have to avoid violating U.S. law. You miss a court date or an ICE appointment can lead to an automatic removal order or redetention if they can find you, right? The confusion, which there shouldn't be any, is the I-220A is sometimes mistakenly viewed as proof of asylum or legal presence. It is not. Misunderstanding this has led to deportation, which is what you're seeing, right? Also, if you are talking about the 220A, recipients are generally not eligible for federal benefits, which are usually reserved for legal residents, asylum grantees, or refugees, unlike what you've seen with the O'Keefe video, where there are certain people in certain states who are arranging for Medicare for illegals. Okay? It's happening in a lot of places. So just don't say it's happening there. It's happening in a lot of places. Individuals that have received this 220A should seek legal advice to explore relief from removal, such as asylum, cancellation of removal, or adjustment of status. Okay? ICE often uses the 220A when detention facilities are full or doing surges and border apprehensions, which was the last 4 years. Okay? 4 years of this nonsense. And it does not pause or alter the timeline of immigration enforcement proceedings. ICE can revoke the 220A if the person violates conditions, poses a risk, or if new information comes to light. These are all things that are explained to you in the language that you speak originally. There is an interpreter available at all times at these things. If you say there's not, you're an effing liar. Put it in writing. Somebody will sue you. These immigration attorneys down here in South Florida that are doing these videos now, only one of them said the right thing, which was kind of, well, for the last X amount of years under Biden, we didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do it if you didn't care that your client was going to go to fucking jail. I'm a little upset about this as everybody gets tired of hearing this shit, that nobody knew anything. Most of these hearings go out of their way to make sure that you understand what's going on in your language, which is crazy. I used to work for a city that prided itself on having 45 different language interpreters. That's just stupid, right? If you don't speak the language, my grandfather came here, he didn't speak the language, he couldn't get a decent job until he did. So I've got no time for all these people that cry this bullshit. All right. But you have to know that this paper that they're all saying, which Channel 7, the most irresponsible news channel outside of MSNBC and CNN, always puts out, well, I had the paper, I have the paper. They have this, they have the 220A. That just means they got caught and they were given a date to come back for hearings. Doesn't mean shit, right? And yet they're applying for Medicare and this and that and the other thing. And then my favorite is when they catch them when they're going back to Cuba for the weekend to hang out. We have a lot of that. You haven't seen that one yet because they don't talk about it. The newer Cubans come to the United States under refugee status, which means that you're afraid of being murdered if you go back to Cuba, right? And then they either work as exotic dancers or they do whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now they're too lazy to go to Mexico and then to Cuba. So when they fly directly into Cuba from Miami, which you can, especially if you're a Cuban, because the Cubans want that US dollar. They know these people are bringing money into the country. All you have to do is sit there and watch who gets on the plane and who gets off the plane. And you're telling me you're going to be murdered if you go to Cuba, but there you are on the weekend over there talking to your tia. It's bullshit. Call bullshit on it all. So there has been a lot of abuse of this system. There is a lot of talk about this 220A, and it doesn't mean what you think it means. So all you people in Massachusetts who keep crying about this shit and they don't understand the laws, this 220A does not mean what you think it does. Those other guys that everybody's all upset about over at University of Florida, they deserved it. And honestly, as we say, the contractor should be arrested as well. Contractors should not just be arrested under this. They should look into him because honestly, he is probably associated with a larger RICO case that nobody wants to build down here because developers run the state. But yeah, it would be RICO because they're dealing with cartels to get these guys in there. You can't get that many Mexicans or anybody else under one roof without the cartels operations in the United States making it happen. And if you believe that it can be done, you are tragically mistaken. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully, that'll be the end of it for the weekend. You all have a good day and don't believe any of this nonsense that you're reading. Talk to you later.